You need to, oh, could you, yeah, could you shut the doors? Thanks. Well, we can now begin officially, and I want to officially welcome everybody to the class now. I am going to actually leave the part before my welcome um, in the recording later for all of the students watching asynchronously so you can see how we were dealing with a big problem today. But essentially, we've resolved it more or less. We can now have a class, deal with the critical content, and you may see behind me on the big board things coming and going because our technical coordinator here, Stefan, is in the back part of the room getting us set up. But essentially, what's happening today is that we are dealing with a very complex technical challenge that we're resolving in front of you, but it's an experientially good example for all of you of the big force that we're going to continue to explore today, which is becoming a master of complexity. And so what I'd like to do is continue what we've already begun. We've begun a discussion here among the in-person students, exploring their most complex challenges they faced. In the live chat, we're starting to have sent to us from it looks like around 10 or 11 students are in the Cosmos right now. You'll be able to see them on the big board soon. They too are putting in their complex challenges. And so what I'd like to do very soon is begin to make a list of these complex challenges, one by one. And there is also other things that we have to deal with today, which is what's coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks in terms of guests. But since we've already begun, I'm just going to say one thing before we can really begin a good discussion about complexity and how you deal with it. And that is that I would like to give a short lecture on the force of complexity in the global world. But given, it should be good? Thank you, Stefan. Okay, so let me just check. Now we have, let's see if the big board is working, and then we're really good. This will be, here we go. There we go. Thank you, Stefan. Great. Lovely. So, wow. Right now, I don't have the board fully populated. What I would like to do, though, is just give me a moment, and I'm going to get the notes up there, and then we can get going, okay? So I will continue babbling on here, and everybody should be able to hear. I just need to do one more little thing to make sure this is connected, screen share. And if this is working, then it means somebody is really looking out for us, some almighty force. So let's see what happens. Yeah. Wow. Okay. This is great. Okay. So now I think what I can do is, I'm not going to touch this. I just want to put the map of the world up here because that's such an important part of what we do in this class. And then we are completely ready to begin this, and we can have a real class. Excellent. Well, I'm going to forego my little lecture on complexity. We'll see if we have enough time for it, but more importantly is to start to take up the complex challenges that you've all begun to talk about. I do want to say one or two things before we begin, and that is that it is so helpful to be able to demonstrate to you from a personal standpoint how I deal with complexity in this room. And it's been a running sort of theme through this course is observing me as I deal with a very complex technical environment in which a lot goes wrong. What I want to say about complexity, which has been there in every class in some form or another, and was very much a part of last week's class in terms of the global problem that we have right now in the Middle East and the world's oil supply and how that's all going to play out. Complexity defined in a very simple way is multiple moving parts of one thing that you have to manage successfully. Okay, so multiple moving parts. And I just want to reiterate that not only through this course so far, but coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks with a lot of guests who will be coming in, showing you how they've been dealing in their careers successfully with this force of complexity. You by the end of this course, I hope more than anything, will feel that you're starting to get a sense of how to really master complexity. And if you can do that, even if you just think about it, but you don't yet feel you can do it successfully, you are well on your way to becoming a leader, and maybe most importantly of all, a leader in your own life. Global leadership, as we've defined it this semester, of course, is about the people who are thinking globally and locally and succeeding with initiatives that are helping their communities and the world at large. But ultimately, you want to be able to do that in your own life. You want to be able to be a leader in your own life, whether you're a parent or whether you're in a career or whether you're among friends. You want to take responsibility and be confident that you can handle the challenges and not be relying on somebody else. So I want you to think today that as we start to kind of take this idea of complexity and bring it down into your own personal life, that this is going to be something that will really help you in the long run. Complexity from a large global scale we've been looking at, now we're going to come into your own lives. But ultimately, it's about this force. Okay? So I'm going to leave the rest of the things till later, which is getting you ready for next week's classes, anything about the assignments, the discussion posts. I wanted to read out loud some of the good pieces that have been submitted. I want to get into this discussion. And I want to give you a chance to really talk about this. So here we go. First, is there anybody here who's ready in person to come up, stand with me at the podium with the microphone, and tell us what has been the most complex challenge in their life? Who's ready to demonstrate that kind of courage to come up in front of a crowd? Waleed is ready, as always. Okay, Elizabeth is ready. Let's just see. I'm kind of doing too many things at once. This is another thing about complexity, is you can get overwhelmed and you have to figure out, what do you focus on, even though everything else needs to be addressed. So I'm not going to worry about anything else but you right now. So Waleed is ready to come up. Elizabeth is ready to come up. And maybe Delane, Nathan, or no, not Nathan. Oh, it is. It's Nathan, okay. And of course, Daniel, I know, and Darrell, maybe they'll come up and we'll go into the live chat. The same rules apply for the live chat. If you want your full 5 out of 5 for discussion post 9, you don't have to do a discussion post if you immediately unmute and stay unmuted for the duration of the class. That's how you get your 5 out of 5, okay? So why don't we start with Waleed? We'll go to Elizabeth, and we're going to come around, and we'll see what you have all been discussing, and let's get this going. And we're going to make a list on the board. We'll identify a scribe. But Waleed, you want to take a microphone? Come stand with me here, and I will bring, just a second, the YouTube image so you can see what's being pushed out on YouTube. Hold on a second. So there's YouTube. I'll get the back end so you can see the stream, and I like to see this time going, because that tells me everything's good. We haven't crashed, okay? So Waleed, why don't you turn to the camera over there, to the class, and start telling us a little bit about what has been the most complex challenge in your life. Please go ahead.
Well, honestly, the most complex issue that I've been going on in my life is dealing with unemployment.
Very good. Okay. There's going to be some great examples here. And if you don't want to share stuff, you don't have to. So tell us about why it's complex.
For me, it's complex because no matter where I apply, it's the same rejection. Almost 400 different posts, and it's the same answer. A few times I get a handful of interviews, but it all ends up in the same outcome. And like they say that I don't have enough experience. Like, where am I supposed to get it? And don't they train the workers anyway? Like, isn't that the whole point of training? Like they say, and there are some positions that say no experience required, and then they still say you need experience. Like, it just blows my mind for some reason. Like, I don't know why.
This is good. I think there's a lot of students who are going to relate to this. So let me just make sure technically, in the Cosmos, everything's good, right? You can hear and see Waleed? Yes. Good, good. So let's just make sure we stay on topic, okay? Unemployment is excellent. But why is it complex?
It's complex for me because it has limited my life a lot. It's because like I'm forced to. I don't know.
Okay, let me help you. Let's get a definition. This is a problem. I agree. But let's make sure it meets the threshold of complexity, okay? So I define complexity as multiple moving parts. This is exactly what the leaders of the world are dealing with in the war in the Middle East right now and the oil supplies. Every day, everything changes. And especially with the stream of consciousness that comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, it's like a constant real life stream of consciousness. Anything can change at any moment, and the world has to react. So exactly how does this force of unemployment have multiple moving parts?
For me, because I know people that do have better luck with jobs than I do. So it makes me feel pathetic of myself for some reason. Because like, how come I don't have anything and they all do have jobs? Because that's how it makes it feels like. So it feels like some superiority complex for some reason. That's why.
I'm not hearing complexity yet. I'm not understanding what are the multiple moving parts. Do we want to help him with a bit? So Nathan, grab a microphone, okay? Just in karaoke. Nathan's going to take a mic, and we're going to help. You can remain there, okay? We need to define what are the different components of this problem. We have to break it down, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Okay, so Nathan, what's going on here?
So with unemployment, I can see it's affecting your livelihood.
Yeah.
Not having a job
Mhm.
could when I say livelihood, could be relationships. You know, you need
Yep.
to be able to take care of things financially.
Yeah.
If you have kids,
I
they're not getting
don't.
an education or something. They can't buy food. That's problematic. And for your own mental health, your own well-being, like
Yeah.
going on vacations, having fun, that's important to you as well. So there's a lot of things that unemployment affects.
Yeah, basically.
So that's my
Good. Waleed, do you see how he's starting to identify the elements of this? Because in the addressing how you're going to solve this problem of unemployment, you're going to have to address these elements. And once you address them one by one, you may find the problem starts to get less.
Yes.
And you feel less overwhelmed.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing about becoming a master of complexity is first you understand the elements, and you will see there are many, but if you didn't understand them, you will be overwhelmed. And that's why everybody here, including me, is so stressed these days because there's too much going on, too much complexity. Okay. So Nathan, who else would like to help Waleed in understanding how to break this down? What are the elements of this complex problem? Relationship, money, mental health, other things. Are we missing anything? Unemployment. What makes it so complex? You're thinking. Don't have to rush. Okay. Want to hand the microphone to Daniel? Okay. Good.
Yes, so I was thinking of also the external factors, whereas it's not only like it's not a performance thing where it's not an issue with you. It could also just be the economy itself. Could also be the state that businesses are in. It could also be the way that they are being governed.
Yes. Yes.
So you have those factors as well, external factors, which is separate and apart from your internal issues. Well, not
No,
issues.
they're not, because actually understanding the world economy, how it affects employment and unemployment, may also help you to come up with a solution for your own problem.
Yeah.
You may want to start applying to different places
Yeah.
when you can see that the world economy is favoring, let's say, green businesses instead of old fossil fuels. And then you start to go, oh, I think I might start applying to other places, given what I've learned about the world. Do you see where we're going?
Yeah.
How the so Daniel's right. That's the global thinking. You're understanding what's happening globally, you're reacting locally, and excellent. Do you want to say anything more about that?
That's all.
Oh,
That's all.
Darrell, you want to add something?
I'm just thinking internally, like livelihood, like money is dependent on everything, like rent, food, everything like that.
Yeah, rent and food.
Yeah.
You got to pay that stuff. Imagine when you're in this complex situation with all these things, and then you don't have enough to eat. Oh, it gets even worse. Okay, so do you want to add anything to this idea of understanding what the multiple moving parts are, or do you think you have a better sense?
I think with all the help here, I think I've got an idea now.
Okay, so with that, we'll let you go in a moment, okay? How would you like to start dealing with complexity, this complex problem, today, based on what you've just heard, just an introduction? Might you do something a little differently in order to get the job?
Something I did different was saving money by staying with my parents.
So you're saving money. That makes sense. So you're going to continue to do that.
And I did not, and I take the bus to college instead of driving.
Makes sense. Is there anything that Nathan or Daniel or Darrell have said at this point that might help you to just think about it differently?
Yeah, on the aspect of food, I make my own lunch instead of getting from the food courts and buying.
Yeah, yeah. So you're saving a lot of money. Okay. Wally, thanks a lot. Okay. Excellent. Give the microphone to Elizabeth, okay, when you go. Yeah. Oh, I'll get it done. I'm on it. I'm a little overwhelmed right now with things. Okay, so Elizabeth is going to come up, and then we're going to go into the cosmos, and then we will make our list with Delane, hopefully, who will be a told volunteer to do the great notes. Okay, you get ready for that, Delane? But first, we're just going to. So, I think I heard a great example when you were talking about your. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
My most challenging experience probably was going through my divorce. And I had 3 young children at the time who were 5, 4, and 2 when it happened. And dealing with their emotions and my emotions, dealing with the complexities of how I felt compared to what my children were feeling, not taking out my feelings on them,
Mm-hmm.
and then alienating or villainizing their dad against them. The economic challenges, I had a house and had to let it go, had a car, had to let it go. I wasn't working, I was a stay-at-home mom because they were so young. And so having to understand how to take care of myself and 3 children. How do I let go of a dream? How do you let go of the emotions of it? And
Go on.
not
I'm
only just
getting.
financial,
Yep.
but also relational. You know, you lose friendships and family, and
Just keep going to the end.
so yeah, that was probably one of the most complex. And dealing with it was over years, and giving myself a lot of patience and grace to learn how to live differently, how to love differently, and yeah.
This is excellent. And even more excellent is the fact that there's a student, Delane, who is taking initiative. Just watch the leadership that just happened here. I said we're going to talk, and Delane will do the notes a little later. Maybe I didn't say it quite like that, but she immediately jumped on this and went over and starts getting ready. Before I could even tell her what to do, she knew what to do. She was listening. she was thinking and she's ready. I mean, that's leadership. You don't ask, you know, okay, what to do. It means you have to listen. Excellent. Okay, so let's keep going and then we'll come back and make some notes. Could you describe for the class again, what are the multiple moving parts of this complex challenge you've just described?
I would definitely say relational. The emotional side is probably the biggest one. It's easy to get bitter and angry and judgmental and resentful, but it doesn't fix the problem. And to me, the hearts of my children and my own peace of mind was more important than trying to be right. Um, I think dealing with that was the number one. The next
Relational
relational.
relationships. Okay, so the mom, being
Being a mom.
being a mom. Okay,
and-
number one.
and
Yeah.
Even just being a human being who could show grace despite being wounded, despite being hurt, and not taking it out simply because just because I'm hurt does not mean I need to hurt someone else. I would have hurt my children more if I had become bitter and angry, and then I look at my children today who have a relationship with their dads simply because of how I chose to navigate that time in their lives. I did not want them to hate their father. That was my number one goal. So
Do you all see how this particular challenge is a bit of a pile-on for her? She is just describing how she handled this complex challenge with humanity and grace. And yet the pile-on is, we know there are all these other things on her shoulders that she's carrying. How were you able to, with this pile-on of other problems, still handle this problem with grace?
a lot of honesty with myself. It's easy for me. It would have been easy for me to tell a script that made me the righteous person and him the villain, but being honest about where I had failed and where I had made mistakes, and being willing to listen to counsel, trusted counsel.
Yeah. Trusted
I
counsel.
believe in talking to multiple different sources, just like, I think you were talking about a few weeks ago where you check to see your sources.
Yes.
Not just in
Yes.
media, even in life, go and talk to 3 or 4 different trusted people, and they may all have different views, but you take that, glean that wisdom for yourself, and then come up with your own thing that fits your situation. And so there were lots of people that I could turn to, a lot of crying,
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of and being real and being honest and saying this does hurt and this does affect me, and it's pretending that I was strong. And there were moments when I had to in front of my children, but there were lots of nights where I was curled up and cry my eyes, just cry my eyes out, simply just to get the release. And then being able to don't pretend. I think I always tell my children I'll give them age appropriate truth. So
Age-appropriate truth.
So a
Wow.
5-year-old who's not going to understand, well, why did daddy leave? That child is now 20. He just turned 20 in February. He now understands things based on what he has observed. I haven't even had to say anything. So he understands the truth of the situation based on his own information, his own viewing of the relationship, rather than me sitting there and saying, well, let me tell you what your dad did.
Right. Right.
It's now he's understood things, but the damage you could do to a 5-year-old with, yes, it's the truth, but does he have the capacity to understand
Think of
that?
the complex issue there of communicating this to to a child. I mean, that has its own complexities. Okay, I want to stop for a second only because I want to give everybody a chance. But and we're going to review in a second. And so we'll come back to this, okay? But thank you very much for what you've just shared with us. Hold the microphone for a second. And I just want to make sure that we're completely on track with this, which we are. And Delane, excellent. Look, Delane is even doing the onboard and her lovely calligraphy. Let's see how the camera's working. Go ahead. I'll see if we can bring it over there. Oh, look. Yeah. Everybody sees Delane. She's there. It doesn't look so good with the blinds, but we'll keep it back here. Let me bring just the map back wherever it is. It disappeared for some reason, but I'm going to bring it back. Hold on. There it is. And I'm going to keep it there. So we'll bring Toria back. We'll bring the map. We're not going to crash. Everything is good. So what I'd like to do is go to the Cosmos now and make sure that everybody is clear on what was just said. And then we're going to review what Waleed and what Elizabeth said. We're going to make some notes. Okay, so Melanie. Hi, Melanie. Are you with us? Let's see. Okay, are you ready for your 5 today, or would you rather stay muted? If you are, that's fine. You can stay muted. Okay, then you're going to have to do the discussion post, at least the question later. Fair enough. Okay, so who is ready for their 5? Oh, you can speak? Okay, fair enough. Melanie, go ahead. That's being unmuted. That's fine. Go ahead, Melanie. And I'll just check and see. You can jump on your microphone. Make sure that's working. It's not working? Okay, fair enough. Who is prepared to jump on their microphone at the very least right now for their 5? Go ahead, Ebot. Excellent. You're there? So can you just confirm that you heard me, Ebot? It's not working? Okay, are you speaking, Ebot, on your microphone? Because we see you. Oh, now you're unmuted? Go ahead. Ebot? Let's see. All right, then we'll wait till later for that. I'm going to move things along, and I'll keep it in our nucleus right now. So what I'd like to do is review for a second to get the notes going. We've had 2 examples, Waleed and Elizabeth. So Delane, let's do a quick review. Waleed's example, and then dash unemployment. So what are, I would say, 3 key points from what Waleed said in terms of what makes it complex, unemployment? What would be number 1 for Waleed's complex challenge? Number 1, what would be his most complex challenge in this? And 3, okay? What would we say? Just as a review for takeaway. And you can even say, if you'd like, Waleed, just make sure you have the microphone, okay? 3 things, maybe 5 if we can get there, but what are the multiple moving parts of Waleed's complex challenge of unemployment? Go ahead, Waleed, and then we'll get to Elizabeth. Yeah.
Okay. So the main thing is first thing is being able to is my limitations to is my ability to earn, basically.
Okay, so money.
Money.
Money. money. Okay. What's the next moving part in this that makes it complex? Responsibilities. Absolutely. Responsibilities.
Responsibilities, yes.
I'll add a third. Everybody's dealing with this today. Your well-being.
Yeah.
Your well-being. Money, responsibilities, well-being. How about the global economy?
Yeah.
This is where we get into the global part of the global. You need to be aware of where there are opportunities in the world and where there aren't in order to apply to the right places. Global economy.
Yeah.
That is changing constantly now. Are we, one more thing? We can add more. Yes.
Does that not put things up now on a global situation where you think how many immigrants move simply because they hear about
Absolutely.
that and say there's economic chances somewhere else, but then it throws off the balance and economics of another. So now we're having that issue, right?
Yeah.
The complexity of that.
Well, we might say world migration, but we'll leave that for now, just the global economy. Yeah, but this is all part of it. I cannot overstate for you just how much upheaval the world is in right now. You are living through this. And if you don't wake up to this and figure out how you're going to take advantage of this, you're going to get blown away. You will be stressed. You will be dealing with mental health challenges. You're going to be, getting angrier and angry and more frustrated at the world. But if you can understand this upheaval and learn how to take advantage, you can succeed. Okay, so is there anything else we want to add to Waleed's multiple moving parts of this unemployment challenge? Okay, great. Let's go to Elizabeth, okay? Let's get Elizabeth's complex challenge because we're going to be getting Nathan's if he wants to come up, and we're going to get Darrell's and Daniel's too, okay? So Elizabeth, what would you say are the multiple moving parts in this?
Definitely relational. The change
Yep.
of, the relationship or losing a spouse, partnership, and then the complexities of the relationship between myself and my children.
Exactly. Yeah, the child, communicating to the child. That's a whole different situation than talking to your ex.
Yes.
You're going to talk to your child like you talk to your ex?
No.
I don't think so. That would be dumb. Okay. So what else?
Financial, for sure.
Wow.
Financial.
Yeah.
Um,
Well-being.
well-being,
For sure. You
yes.
talk about the well-being.
Yeah. Mental health and even physical health. And then having to relearn how to be, like that sense of new structure. Like, how do you start again? How do you start again from scratch, building a whole life and building in a different way?
Starting over. When they starting over, starting again.
Starting again, yeah.
So now you're having to deal with change, constant change. This is what upheaval means. Constant change. What was the weather like a couple of days ago? 20 degrees? What are we looking at right now? Snowflakes.
Yeah.
Climate change, erratic weather, tumultuous, volatile. You hear these words all the time that lead to what we call the permacrisis.
Yeah.
The world's in a state of constant crisis in things, okay? So what was the communication with kids and then well-being? You've got that, Delane.
And then we said
Starting again, okay? Starting again. Relearning. That's enough for the pylon right now. Way to go. These are great examples. Now, in the cosmos, is there anything anybody would like to add to this right now on their microphones? I just want to keep this moving. So who has a working microphone right now? Somebody must.
I'm here, sir.
Hey, way to go. Who's that?
Harshil.
Harshil. Excellent. Okay. Harshil, you stay right now unmuted.
Okay.
And where are you here on the Harshil? Oh, there you are. Harshil, you stay unmuted. You've got your 5, okay? We won't
Sure.
ask you to share your beautiful face, just your great voice, okay? Harshil, so far in this discussion, you've heard Elizabeth, you've heard Waleed, you've heard some of the others in the nucleus. What is standing out for you right now? What
Waleed,
are you? Go ahead.
Waleed is correct.
Waleed.
In his phase, like because of saving money is like so difficult nowadays, as you know. And he also talked about that unemployment. What we said. So basically, when he was saying to save money every time, and he made lunch by his own and everything, he managing by own. So it's very good thing. Yeah, it
Good.
makes sense.
Harshil, did you write your most complex challenge in the live chat?
Yeah, I already wrote. Can I hear it too?
Could you read it for us? Go ahead and read it to us.
Yeah. Like for me, it's one of the most complex challenge I have faced is managing my time and balancing some responsibilities, which is overwhelming and stressful for me. To handle it, I always prioritize my task and stay organized every time. And day by day, little by little, I go through my task every day. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So would it be fair to say that Harshil's most complex challenge he has ever faced in his life is time management?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a big problem, Elizabeth, I can tell you. I would not be surprised if students said time management is the most complex challenge. It's huge. Okay. So can we start notes for Harshil? We'll give you a microphone, okay, if you need, but what's that? Harshil, Harshil.
Sure.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, who's that?
About
Oh, go ahead, Ebot. Yeah.
do I need to write mine as well on the chat, or can I just express what my biggest challenge was?
You can express it in a moment. Just hang on, stay unmuted. Okay. We have you and we have Harshil, and there we have 2 5s. We'll come to you in a moment. But okay, Harshil, could you help us to understand what are the 4 or 5 multiple moving parts of your challenge of time management? Break it down for us. What are the parts?
My time management. Like it's planning and always deciding what should I do in everyday's life and everyday goal, and I have to plan my day as by their my time and everything. My classes are also going on, my work is also going on, so I have to
Ooh, here we
manage.
go. Here we
Yeah.
go. I got it. Number 1, classes.
Yeah.
Classes. Number 2, job.
Yeah.
Right? Work. Okay. Let's keep going.
Yeah. And
one or two-
I have to prioritizing everything, like what is like most important for me from that thing, and my schedule also, like if I see my schedule and setting each time for each task is so difficult nowadays, and
Uh-huh.
discipline is also matter nowadays when you are committed on our plan and everything.
Okay, let me stop you for a second. I want to help you.
Sure.
I'm going to ask the students here in the nucleus to help you. What do you think might be some of the other multiple parts of Harshil's complex challenge? Take a mic, Waleed. Go ahead. Make sure you have the mic so we can hear you. We're going to help you break it down. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. Go ahead.
Social life.
Social life. Harshil, do you have friends, family? You probably do.
Yeah, actually, my family is not here, but my sister is here, so I live with her.
Okay. Social life. Waleed said, don't you want to make sure your social life is sort of going fairly well? Right? This is part of the balance.
Yeah.
So when you wake up in the morning and you are facing time management as your complex challenge, what's going through your mind is, I've got my classes, I've got my job, I've got my social life. Oh, and then I bet, Harshil, you have parents back in another country, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Exactly. Now we get the international students' dilemmas, and they're significant. Okay? So how about family in another country? That's enough for the pylon. Okay? Great. Harshil, Elizabeth, go ahead.
I was just going to add that all those things add stress, the well-being, your mental health of just, can I do this? Am I doing it well enough? Am I keeping up? What is the priority? So what that does to your mind every day. Yeah.
Is that fair, Harshil, what Elizabeth just said?
Sorry, I can't hear her. Like,
go ahead and say it again.
I was just saying that the stress of having to balance everything and, thinking through your priorities and what that does to you mentally.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means.
Exactly. And the truth is, Elizabeth, the balance that you're identifying applies to everybody. For you, for Waleed, for Harshil, for me, for everybody. We're all seeking the balance right now when the world is so unbalanced. This is complexity.
Yeah.
If you don't want to deal with this, go live off the grid in the country, in a little shed. Stop with the social media. Stop with being online. Just completely unplugged from the world. You can do that, but you'll find yourself very isolated. Potentially, you're going to start to get very angry at the world, too. Okay, great. So we've got Harshil, we have Waleed, we have Elizabeth, we have now online. Let's give Ebot a chance, okay? And then we're going to come to our nucleus. Ebot, could you describe to us your complex challenge, please?
One of my biggest challenges I faced was uprooting my life and moving to Canada, actually, because initially I had no connections, no support system, and no real sense of what awaited me over here. I was sold back home. We used agents, so I was sold a dream that simply did not exist because I was coming to Canada to do real estate, and I was promised a lot. My expectations were just put through the roof. So I came here with higher expectations, and by the time I realized it, I had already invested a lot of money that I even really truly didn't have into a dream that was just sold to me, and it was all just not factual. And
This is excellent.
climbing out
Keep
of that
going, please.
situation, climbing out of that situation took me a lot of strength. I remember the first few months in Canada, I desperately wanted to go back home. Actually, I think if I had an opportunity to go back home within the first few months, I would have taken it, but I had
Really?
invested everything I had in this journey. And fast forward to today,
Mhm.
I got out of that situation, and the lesson that I learned from this was it taught me resilience, self-trust, and really the power of rebuilding from nothing. I basically went through the challenges and came out of it, and it was a good learning curve, and it's something I think about quite often.
Is the name pronounced Ebot or Ebot? Pronounce it for me correctly.
Yeah, that's it.
Ebot.
Yes.
Ebot. Thank you for sharing this. These examples that you're all giving are so real and so experiential and so helpful. And I didn't even have to say anything to Delane. She already identified the challenge, migration. Now, this is a good one. I think Delane knows this very well. Everybody else on this campus who comes from another country, as well as the students in the nucleus here who were born in Oshawa or Whitby or Pickering and have been thinking about going somewhere else, traveling, resettling. This may be one of the biggest challenges facing humanity today. Everybody is moving around. So let's explore this, okay, a little bit with Ebot. And Ebot, why don't you try to break it down for Delane, and I'll give me a moment. I'm going to bring the blinds down and move that so you can see Delane clearly. You see what I'm doing is I'm doing multiple things at once. I've got the blind, I've got this, I've got that. But am I losing my sense of joy for what I do? Nope. Because I love what I do. You love what you do, you find that place, you can handle anything. Your job, your future is like a marriage, is like a relationship. You are married to what you do in life that you choose. And so when there are problems in any relationship, you work them through because you love that other person so much. Sometimes love gets broken. And I think Elizabeth has given us a little bit of an example of that. It happens. We have to deal with it. And she's going to find, and well, she already has her children, whom she clearly loves profoundly. That gets her through, I think. So let me do one more thing to get the camera over to Elizabeth, and you can all see what, do you want to just turn it around? That's what Ebot is seeing right now. Can you just turn it slightly around the smart board towards that camera over there. And you see the board? Turn the board towards there. And you see it gets a little confusing. Oh, she's got it. Good. Okay. Don't worry about the backward GC on YouTube. It rewrites itself. Okay. Great. So there you have Delane ready for you right now. Ebot, would you tell her what are the multiple moving parts of your problem and challenge, which you face successfully, called migration? What would you say are the multiple moving parts?
I think misrepresentation and exploitation of newcomers might be one.
Okay.
Financial vulnerability.
Sorry, say that again.
Financial vulnerability.
Yeah, financial vulnerability. Well, he's got that. Elizabeth has got that. Lon has got that. Everybody, the financial vulnerability. Good. What
And
else?
I would just add navigating unfamiliar systems alone. Like I had to figure out housing, the legal processes in Canada, work, and all that.
What else? The pylon. We're calling this the pylon of things that are really making this potentially overwhelming for you. What else? Navigating new systems.
I think that's all I have for now.
How about well-being?
Yeah, the emotional and psychological
Yeah.
resilience, that part.
Loneliness. Elizabeth
Oh,
said
yes,
loneliness.
that's a big one.
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. Loneliness. Wow. Great examples, everybody. We're going to leave that for now, okay? Up there on the board, we're not going to look at solutions yet, but I would like to at least remind everybody, and I'll bring the camera back over here to me, and which is, do you notice that Ebot has come through it? It seems like he's at the other end of this, like you're at the end of the tunnel. Is that fair, Ebot, or are you now just transitioning to a new and even bigger tunnel? Or do you feel like you've come out of this and you're a better person, stronger and smarter? How would you answer that?
100%. 100%. And
100%.
yes. And I thank God because I've met amazing people who made it easy for me. The people in my life are the ones who make it very, very doable, because when I think through it, it's like it happened yesterday, and it literally just happened a few years back, but it's still fresh in my mind. And yeah, I'm on the other side of it for sure.
You found support. You have support. You right? You were not able to do this alone. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is really smart leadership when you recognize you actually need the people around you. You can still lead them. In fact, you gain their greater respect when you recognize, I can't do this. Darrell, you're working for me. I'm having some issues right now with cooking. I can't seem to make the right dinners, and I heard that you're a good cook. Could you help me a little bit and learn to cook better so I can get through this? I need your help. But I can still be your boss. I can still be leading, but I'm actually respecting you more to contribute, and you become a stakeholder in my success. Then you feel valued, and you might even want to work with me even more. You see that, how it works? Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to come back to the nucleus, and I just want to remind you, we only have about 10 minutes left because of all the tech issues. I want to give the nucleus a chance to really speak. So it's Nathan, it's also Darrell, and it's also Daniel. Who would like to speak here? You don't have to jump in if you don't want to, but I can also pick you. But are you ready? Come on up, Darrell, okay? Come on up. Darrell is going to tell us his complex challenge, okay? And at the end of this, we're going to start doing a bit of concluding about success and what success looks like, and then we'll finish the class, okay? So Darrell, You have Delane ready on the notes. Go ahead.
The biggest challenge I face is probably death.
Death.
Yeah.
My goodness. I have a story to tell you afterwards. Go ahead, please.
Like 2 weeks ago, I went to a funeral. My auntie just passed away. She wasn't eating, and they put her on palliative care, and she passed away.
And I'm sorry to hear that. Why is this complex?
Because I could see the signs because I went to a barbecue in the summer and she wasn't eating, and everyone was encouraging to eat, and she wouldn't listen. She was like ready to go. So ready to go. Yeah.
So this is important for us to hear. Let's keep exploring why this was or remains a complex challenge for you. So what was your challenge?
I didn't check on her enough because I'm busy with school and work and stuff like that. Yeah.
Very good. So the first thing is Darrell's responsibility to his beloved aunt. Is it fair for me to say that you feel you weren't there enough for her and you wish you had been?
Yeah, because she basically raised me, and as I got older, like, yeah,
So now we learn that your beautiful aunt was like your mother. Is that true?
like a second, third mother to me. Yeah.
And you were close with her and she was important to you.
Mhm.
Okay. Wow. So close relationship. What else? Multiple moving parts. Things were happening, over these last months, let's say, leading up to her death, or maybe the days leading up to it, that were making it kind of overwhelming for you?
Yeah, because I went to the funeral and everything, and I saw like the showing and everything like 2 weeks ago, and I saw the body and everything.
You saw
Yeah.
a dead person for the first time.
Not the first time. I went to other funerals, but
It was an open casket
it's an open casket.
of a person you loved.
Yeah.
What's that? What do we call that? That's a definite pile on pressure. What should we label that as? Wow. Daniel, what do you think? Mourning. Well, mourning is another one, the mourning, but it's the confrontation with mortality. Oh boy. Do I have a story to tell you after this? My goodness. Wait till you hear this. We share something, by the way, over these last couple of weeks. Go on. Anything else? What about well-being? Always seems to come up. What about your own well-being?
It was tough because I also dealt with my best friend. He passed away 2 years ago too. So it's this compound stuff going.
Wow. Tragedy.
Yeah, yeah.
Tragedy in Darrell's life. It's coming, and it's money a part of this at all? Would you say? Maybe not. Did you have any financial obligations to pay for part of the funeral, the casket, or anything else, or was that being taken care of by others?
No, like the catering. My uncle owns a Jamaican restaurant, so he provided all the food and stuff like that, and we had like family that would help out, like family from Jamaica, U.S., England, all came over. So yeah.
Did you have to coordinate any of that?
No.
Okay, that's the pressure. That's event planning, if you will, but it's not the best event. Are we missing anything on the list of things, the pile on of challenges that Darrell has to deal with every day as this unfolds in your life, this death of your beloved aunt?
Not really, but the funeral, like, I saw a family that I've never seen before, and it was challenging. And then you could see like there was some tension between some family members. Some
Yep.
didn't like each
Yep.
other, and it was like, yeah, a lot of tension. Some people laughing.
Ah,
It's a mixture of everything.
I'm sure you didn't like that.
Yeah.
So what did you do? When you saw something during this event that was emotionally, potentially traumatic for you, and you didn't like what you saw, what did you do or not do?
I don't know, like I would just look at the good, like I would just conversate with someone who's in a good mood, or like the people who had like bad tension, I would stay away from.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
Avoid, yeah.
So conflict management, Delane. He had a bit of a conflict management issue going on here with family at a difficult time. We'll stop there, okay? Is there anything you'd like to add to this, and particularly give you a chance to do what Ebot did, which is, where are you now as you emerge from this? Are you have you learned anything? Do you feel like you've gained something, lost something, but still gained something? But are you in the tunnel still of the challenge, or are you coming out of it?
I think on acceptance, like you come to terms, like life is short and you have to cherish every moment and everyone around you and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's wise. How old are you?
Like 30.
30? Took me a lot longer than 30 to understand that. Okay, thank you very much, okay? That's great. These are really, really good examples. And I really want to thank you all for sharing this. I'm going to tell you a little story in a moment. I just want to make sure we're on track here, okay? I want to give Nathan and Daniel a chance to speak, but at the same time, I'm conscious of time. And because of what Darrell has just said, which is a seizable learning moment that's just emerged in terms of what you went through and what I've just gone through, I think I need to speak. Is it okay if we leave this to next couple of weeks, because we have guests coming and okay. I really want to conclude with this. It's important for you to hear this. Is there anybody in the cosmos that has any questions at this point? The live chat descriptions that you put in there will be saved and will be made available to everybody in the class folder, not to worry. But is there anybody that would like to say something? Because we're moving to the end of the class, and I'm going to tell you a little something personal, but I think will be very instructive. Okay. Well, as it happens, over the midterm break, I had a profound, one of the most important, maybe most important moments of my life take place. When I was growing up, my father died when I was very young. My mother became a single mother, bringing me and my two sisters up. She was a remarkable individual. On Friday, March the 3rd, I think it was, about 2:30 p.m., I held my mother's head in my hands, talking into her ear, because hearing is the last thing to go, as she lay, 95 years old, in gradual worsening dementia at the Baycrest Seniors Facility in Toronto. And she died in my hands. So I understand exactly what you were saying about the open casket. dead. My mother, your aunt, very close, same feelings. I'm not going to get emotional now. I've been mourning, grieving with family. We've had services. I spoke at the funeral. And there's so many things I could say about this event. But I faced a complex challenge through it leading up to the days when she died, because my sisters and I were trying to make sure she had a good death. She was really suffering. She was in physical pain. We knew that something had to be done. There were a number of medical challenges that were faced, meetings that had to be held with doctors and nurses and caregivers and others, all of which had to be held at a time when my sisters and I were suffering because this person was the most important person in our lives. Our parent. My father was not around. And this woman had brought us up and done such a great job. So it was so important that her death be a peaceful one, pain-free. And it was so important that we be there at the moment when it happened. I would not be able to live with myself if we couldn't. Even though she was in a state of such cognitive sedation and lack of awareness, but she could hear stuff. She knew, and so listen to what happened. On March the 3rd, in that morning, Friday, my sister Lynn called me. I was driving. I was on Dufferin Street, going home to get home. And she said, "You better get here right now." Her breathing has become very short. Her temperature is declining, and she's on artificial oxygen now. It's a matter of hours, maybe minutes. To cut a long story short, I had to get home through traffic, pick up my wife, get to Baycrest, and be at my mom's bedside to make sure that I was there. And there was no guarantee I would be. Talk about stress. I was driving home to High Park to pick up my wife, then got her. She got on the phone. As I'm driving up Black Creek through traffic, I'm talking to my mother as my sister is holding the phone to her ear. And I was talking a lot about God. A lot. I get to Baycrest. For some reason, the elevator is now working. It hasn't been working. That place is always, everything. I get up there to the room, burst in, and I said to my mom, "I'm here." And there was my sisters around and others. And I went straight to her side, and she was still alive. And then a few minutes later, she died. That experience, the challenge of making sure my mother had the right death, was 10 years in the making. There were homes that she went to, all the different places we had to take her. So she finally got to Baycrest. There was a house to sell, money to pay caregivers and everything. But at the end, after I was very emotional, of course, and my sisters were, I was at peace. I thought, wow, I think God was speaking. Now, I want to tell you something. I am not a religious person. I am secular. However, my faith, Judaism, has been important to me to some extent. My relationship with God has been on and off through my life. It's very difficult as a Jew to talk about God because ultimately when a Jew talks about God, confronts one big problem, the Holocaust. Why would God allow so many of us to be mass slaughtered the way that they did? Where was God? Well, I'm dealing with that in a new way. God was there to make this a beautiful death. And so this sad moment, this complex challenge, has turned into one of the most beautiful, happy times. This is a huge surprise. I'd like you to know that when you just keep going, do your best, and love as much as you can, always, and take care of those around you. Things are going to happen to you. They're going to surprise you and make you a better human. I believe it. I feel it. I would not have told this story today. I wasn't planning to, except that Darrell, standing here, saying what he said, I think it's only fitting to say that your professor is just like you, too. So I'm going to stop. I'm watching the clock. I don't want to say anything more, but I will at least say if anybody would like to ask a question, now you can, or we can speak, but maybe I'll just leave this with you and we'll conclude, okay? And next week, we're going to meet some amazing guests. I will be putting all that up for you on DC Connect. We face enormous challenges. You choose how you react to them. You choose. Thanks very much, everybody. And I'll see you next week, okay? Thank you for listening, and thank you for your stories and for sharing. And I will stay online here for a moment for anybody in the cosmos, but the nucleus is leaving right now. Thank you, Ebot, Melanie, Morgan, and all of you. You have your 9th discussion post, particularly for the asynchronous students. Remember, you have your question and your 175 words or so. Okay. We have landed. We're done. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so let me save the live chat. I hate when I forget to do that. Oh, don't do that. I want to just save this. Don't, okay. What are you doing there? What are you doing there? Yeah. What are you doing there? Export as a PDF. Take care, Elizabeth. Okay. See you, Nathan. Have a good week. Okay. I've got the live chat. I want to get Delaine's notes. Okay, and I think I can disconnect from the class, stop the live stream.